Welcome to Ripstop on the Record, the podcast for makers, by makers, where we talk about all things MYOG. Brought to you by Ripstop by the Roll. I think it's good, right?
Yeah, I think that was a good take.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ripstop on the Record. I'm still Jameson.
And I'm Avery.
And here's Carter.
We are releasing some super spicy fabrics to kick off the year, and we're going to tell you what they are and how we made them. But first, a few things. This episode is going to be a little bit different from our other episodes that you're used to. We took a well-deserved break over the holidays, so Avery, Carter, and I are really just getting back into things. We almost scratched this episode altogether, but with the new fabrics, we felt like there was some information that you would find valuable, and well, we really wanted to give you something to listen to, and didn't want to leave you hanging. So we're going to give you a short episode, it'll be a bit shorter than normal. There's not like a particular guest or anything like that, so bear with us for this break. But in 2 weeks, we'll be back with our regular scheduled program.
And before we get into it, make sure you follow or like the show on Apple Podcast, rate us, review us, go over to YouTube and watch us, send us some fan mail, tell your friend about your favorite episode. It really does make a difference to share the love with your friends and get the word about the show out there.
Absolutely. Speaking of fan mail, we actually had a couple of fan mail questions come through over the holidays, and I wanted to address those. First of all, to the two of you that sent in fan mail, thank you so much. It was really exciting. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of the best email I got over the break. Not that I got bad emails, I was just really excited to see what people had to say. I don't actually know how you send fan mail. It comes through Buzzsprout, like our podcast hosting platform, but it's really fun to see what people are saying and realize that people are listening even over the holidays. So I want to answer to these questions. The first one was, where can I find the video for the Derek Hansen episode? I don't remember what episode it was that we started, but I want to say around episode maybe like 40, we started putting every episode on YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel, I think there's only maybe one or two missing throughout the entire last maybe 2 years of podcasts. So this link will be down in the description. If you're listening and you ask that question, go ahead and find that link down here in the episode description, but also you can go to YouTube at any point in time and find just about every episode. The second question that came through from fan mail was from Glenn. Shout out, Glenn. Thanks for listening, and thank you for sending in the question. What is the maker channel that Mark Shadlow mentioned at 2620 in the episode? So Mark Shadlow was on the episode where we talked about the Chunky Donkey backpack. Mark has made some other cool stuff like the unicorn backpack with his mystery ranch, stuff like that. He's made some really, really cool items. And to be very, very honest, I have no idea. I went back, I actually re-listened to this episode myself because I kind of forgot all of it, having recorded it.
He said the Prime Maker channel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is. I was like Googling it. So we'll send him an email and ask. And we have your name, I think.
Glenn.
Yeah, we have your name, Glenn. So we'll let you know. I'm sure it's out there. Or he made it up, in which case we'll tell you that too.
Yeah, whatever it is, we'll try to find it because it sounds awesome. I was also interested in it. Cool. So that's for fan mail. Again, if you have any other questions, if you ever want to let us know what you think of the episode, or if you just have ideas, please let us know. It's really cool. We don't get so much stuff that we ignore it. We will read everything that you send us. So if you'd like to contact us directly or talk about anything, let us know. All right. One other thing that's really exciting. It's going to be kind of a hodgepodge episode of different things. We are scheduling our first maker meetup. If you are local to North Carolina, or if you just want to come into the area, then on February 22nd, we will be meeting together at Umstead State Park at the Crabtree Shelter number 2. More details will come out. We're really just putting this together now, and I really wanted to get it out to everybody so you can start planning ahead. But yeah, February 22nd will be a maker meetup. We'll be giving some fabrics away. We're just going to be hanging out, talking about stuff that we've made, stuff that we've sewed. I'll definitely be there, as well as some other people from Ripstop. So if you'd like to hang out and talk with the makers, please come. This is really a test for us. We don't know how well it's going to go, but I was personally really interested in meeting other people and chatting about making gear. So if you want to see us, come then, February 22nd. All right. So one other thing, I'm doing a lot of talking this episode, so I'm already sorry, Carter. But
it's all right. I'm putting up with it.
I sewed a lot over the break, and I'm kind of excited to talk about a little bit of it. So would you indulge me for 5 minutes to talk about some of the fun things that I made?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like hearing about them again. If you're a somewhat regular or frequent listener, you know that I always tease Jameson because he fundamentally runs I don't know if you're allowed to say sweatshop anymore, but he does that to himself. So he hit me up. Well, we talk all the time. We're good friends outside of work, but he was like, I would just get a picture on my phone and it's like a complete project that takes 15 hours to make. He's like, yeah, I made it yesterday. It's just like the Sunday after Christmas or something. So yeah, let us know what you made. It's a lot of really cool stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. I had two gifts to make. One, I made an apron. This one was kind of fun because I didn't use like the base material wasn't one that we have. I sew a ton with all of our materials here in the shop, and they're all amazing. But I actually went to a local shop, got some cotton canvas from Freeman's Creative here in Durham, and then I coated it or I treated it with a cotton coated DWR that you wash in. That was a really fun experience because I didn't think about fraying. So I actually had to shrink down the whole project like half an inch because the whole thing around the perimeter like frayed off. So I had to like retrim the whole apron out and everything. That was kind of interesting, but it's a really fun project. I took some inspiration from the Arch Industries apron that he made. I don't know if you've seen Andrea's apron online, guys. Go check out Arch_ind or Arch Industries. But the apron project was super fun. So I paired like this dark mustard cotton canvas with black 210 HDPE Gridstop as the pockets for the hand pockets and the phone pockets. Did some cool like kind of geometric lines on it with flat elastic and stuff. But super fun project. Making a really technical apron was a lot of fun because it's kind of blends this style and function thing. My favorite piece of the apron though is I hate it when aprons ride up on your neck, like the neck strap kind of comes up. So I made what I'm calling the third strap or the wishbone, which is a strap that connects the neck strap to the waist strap, and that just keeps them both together so the neck strap doesn't ride up. It's really simple, but I'm super happy with it because I wore my apron that I made like 4 years ago actually at your house, and it doesn't have that, and I just kind of threw it to this corner because it made me mad. Actually, I think I tied am steel to the neck strap and the west strap to keep it off me.
It's kind of like whenever you, well, maybe whenever I made the transition at some point early on in life from like the free flowing cotton boxers to the boxer brief,
You
and
just
all
need a
of a
bit more
sudden,
support, you know.
well, it's just all of a sudden it's not riding up your leg, and it's like it's a great invention. It
Yeah,
really is.
that's a good analogy.
But yeah, it really looked cool. I like the color combo. You made a few things with like some marigold, mustard kind of hints, and I like that. I have an Enlighten Equipment quilt that uses
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a
a
great
cool
color.
color like that.
I'm not going to go over all of the stuff that I made because, to Carter's point, I kind of made too much, and I'm not going to bore you with all of it. But I'm just going to mention some of the things that I'm most happy with. I made a ski duffel. So I'm from New England. I love to ski, and I have a lot of family up there. So I try to go out whenever I can. And I got some new ski equipment. So I made a duffel bag to hold my boots and my helmet and gloves and goggles and all that stuff. The reason that this duffel was kind of different from other duffels that I've made is that I really wanted to make it backpack compatible. So on the bottom panel, I made kind of this half circle zip that folds down, and shoulder straps can come out and attach to the bottom. It was a really cool project because it kind of tested my ability to layer in different things. That there's even foam in there, our new XLPE foam to pad it. But also, it was important to me that I wasn't just like wearing a bag that's been on the floor of the airport on my back or on my clothes. So the panel kind of folds down to cover itself. So it was a really cool project. It like I said, the figuring out how to layer stuff in to get all the right pieces in the right place was really fun, and kind of it was kind of an exciting project. I did some fun like zigzag stitching on the grab handles, and one thing I've been really into is wrapping the grab handles or subway handles in the material that I'm using on the bag. Kind of has like a cool color match or pattern matching. A lot of the stuff's probably hard to imagine, and if you're following, then more power to you. But I have photos of all these things, so if you're interested, let us know. Avery can definitely post these on the old gram if you're interested in seeing them, or if you want to see more, get some inspiration. But yeah, I was really proud of that ski duffel and the backpack compatibility.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about your maker journey is I mean, you still do crazy stuff, which is cool. That's my favorite part is when people invent things that don't exist. Like I'm always happy to see when someone's making anything, but for me, I'm personally interested in like, oh, I have this problem and I've never seen this on a backpack, and you invent something. So you still do that, but the thing that you're really refining is like your actual like professional maker skills, where you're adding like almost aesthetically pleasing stitches as reinforcements instead of just
Yeah,
reinforcing it to make sure it doesn't fall apart.
yeah,
And that's a cool transition to see you do, where you're making it functional, but you're not worried about your bag falling apart anymore. So now you can be like, maybe I'll do this box stitch with a swirl through the middle and my initials at the bottom or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a really cool build, and hopefully some people are interested in it because there are a lot of you can't describe all of the neat features that exist that you thought through.
It's true. It
But yeah,
takes
look
forever.
at it.
Yeah, to be clear, I'd be more than happy to share anything that I know. A lot of these things don't have patterns necessarily, but I'd be more than happy to consult anybody if you want to know how to do that yourself. I'd tell you anything that I did. I don't care about holding on to that information. I just want to help out makers. Okay, next thing I'm really proud of, I made an alpha cycling vest. Now it's finally public, but I used our new 0.9 15 membrane ECO Ripstop nylon as the front, and I lined it with alpha. The cycling vest, so I had some pockets available on the back where I used our 5.2 airway stretch. This was a really challenging material for me because I'm not a great apparel maker. Like, I'm not great with the fine kind of the aesthetic skills and the fit and the contouring. I bought a sweater vest at Goodwill. I tore it apart. I tried to make a pattern out of it. I made one once and it didn't fit me. It's too small. So I sent it to a friend and I made this one that was just sized up a little bit more and kind of a little bit more spacious in certain areas. But this was really fun because I don't make that much apparel and I don't make really anything for cycling. Cycling stuff can be really expensive. And with it being wintertime, I really wanted to ride. But this was a fun project because alpha is a really impressive performing material. And then paired with something that's calendared on the outside, it really felt like I had, it doesn't quite look like a professional piece of kit, but I felt like I had a really nice like winter cycling wear that I made.
And you look super cool blazing down the streets with it on.
The last thing I'll talk about is my ski pack. If you've been following the podcast for any amount of time, then you know I've made a lot of bags, a lot of backpacks. Carter helped me move last year, and he teased me for a couple of weeks about how many backpacks I have that he didn't even know I had.
Even my wife made a comment, which made me
That's
happy.
true. Even Ashley
She
did.
was like, "Dude, he really has a lot of bags."
I think she said he has more backpacks than you do, and
Like,
Carter's really happy.
"You're right,
about that.
baby. I barely have any. He's got the problem."
But this was the most challenging make I've ever done, hands down. I did it to myself. It was intentional. I really wanted to test out some things. But some of the features that made it so challenging that I'm really proud of is one, I did a hidden pocket under the spacer mesh on the back panel. So you can't see it. You have no idea it's there unless you slide your hand. But there's an embedded pocket kind of in between where your back would be and then the back of the backpack. I made a pocket in there with some layers and some special stitches and stuff. It's kind of hard to say exactly how I did it, not because I don't want to tell you, but kind of did it on the fly. But really proud of that. I guess some people would call it like a passport pocket or something like that, but that was really, really cool. And then the most challenging piece is that I really wanted, so this is a ski backpack. I'm wearing it on the slopes, and it's important that you don't get caught on the chairlift or on trees or by other people. You don't want to have like tons of daisy chains and loops hanging off everywhere. So I really wanted the whole backpack to be kind of one panel. So there's four darts that make the front, sides, top, and bottom kind of all this one curved aesthetic or profile. And that took so long. The amount of paper I wasted, really sorry, Earth, trying to figure out how to get like the circumference right to get all four darts to line up appropriately. It was the most challenging thing I've ever done, but it was really, really exciting. I'm really, really stoked. Like I don't often, especially when you finish making something, you're like, there's this mistake, there's this thing, this is lame. Of course, there's a few of those, but I'm really excited with how this turned out, and I'm kind of impressed. For the first time, I'm like, wow, maybe I know how to make stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and as a testament to that, I was talking to Jason. I don't know where you weren't here at the time, but he was like, "Man, I think we were actually just talking about how you have some sort of problem with making stuff, but we were also
That's
giving
true.
you complimentary
Sure.
words because he was like, "Man, I got to tell you that ski pack. I mean, I would buy that." And I think that's a like I was saying earlier, you've made a lot of progress in you like not just doing things on the fly to see what happens, but also considering like making more prototypical decisions first
Yeah.
and then finally doing it rather than like the whole bag being your prototype and then you're like, well, on to the next thing. It
Yeah.
seemed like you really spent the time to figure out exactly what you wanted, and since it's related to skiing, it has a specific purpose, so you knew the different features that you wanted, and I thought you carried them out very well.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying making things that are functional and really aesthetic. Like a little thing I added, like the whole pack, there's orange accents on the right side if you're looking at it, and black accents on the left side of our new Venom Gridstop ECO, which we'll talk about here in a second. But it's kind of fun to think about ways to like make things function really well while also making them stylistic. I'm really enjoying that aspect. There's a lot of pictures of that. Again, please let us know. Send in fan mail. Send in. You can ask on Instagram. Ask us wherever you want if you want to see any of these pieces. There's definitely a carousel on the ski pack that'll go out. Adrian and I were talking about that the other day. So if you want to see the ski pack, go check it out on Instagram. That's more than enough talking about me. We don't need to do this again, but thanks for indulging me. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so part of the reason why I wanted this episode as a whole is the New Year, New Gear sale is live right now. Woo! This is really, really exciting because Carter and even Isaac, if you remember him, worked on some of these materials that we're now finally releasing. Kyle's done a ton of work on these, but we're finally releasing 2 brand new, really spicy materials. We're releasing another material that's awesome, then a restock or a rebuild material as well. So January 13th to 20th, these materials are on sale. We're going to talk about them right now, what they are, what they're used for, stuff like that. But go to our website. You all know what it is to check them out. You can see what it is. Technically, the more you buy, the more you save. You get it at 20% off. So let's start with the spiciest one. Introducing the 210D Venom Gridstop ECO. Carter, give us the intro of this material.
Yeah, so we've teased this one for a while, and there might even be some out there in the wild being tested. Actually, I know there is. So you might have maybe seen a hint of this, but as many of you have guessed, 210D HDPE Gridstop is material that has been around for a decade or more. It became really popular on backpack straps, just kind of like a material that can do it all for a waterproof pack material. Um, we've known for a long time that that material could be made better, but in order to do all the things that we wanted to do, we don't want to just take a material. If we're going to make it better, we don't want to just take something off the shelf or try to find something and just relabel it. It's really important to us to take the experience both from you all that you've feedback that you've given us on things you'd like to see, but also our own experiences based on what we know could be possible. So we started from the beginning and we knew we wanted it to be more waterproof than the previous 210D grid stop. And we knew we wanted it to be eco-friendly. I mean, it's no like secret that the industry and our country and pretty much everyone is trying, I hope, for the most part, everyone is thinking more about sustainability. And nobody's perfect. We're not perfect either, but where we can make those decisions, even if it costs more money or takes more time, we want to try to do that. So in this case, we're using a 100% recycled base nylon yarn. We're using a C0 PFC free DWR. So those are 2 really important things to kind of be more sustainable, whereas the previous material had none of that. Another thing that we did is, if those of you that are familiar, the 210D grid stop, the old stuff that's been around, it has like a Dobby diamond weave, and then it has a white ripstop over that, and the white is the HDPE or the UHMWPE, or depending on a variant, it's the stronger stuff. But the spacing is pretty wide for the UHMWPE, so you're only getting added abrasion resistance at those intervals. Let's just say if it's 5 millimeters, then the space in between that, you're not getting any of the benefit. And some of it is just because it aesthetically looks cool. And
It was a good looking material for sure.
right, but then you also have this diamond, and we just felt like it was a little busy for, we want to simplify things. So if we can remove that part and save a little bit of money in that way, to add more UHMWPE, which is what you really want, then that's what we're going to do, and that's what we did. So we shrunk down the grid size, so per given area of the piece of the fabric, you have more Venom UHMWPE yarn than you did before.
Because
And
we've taken that, or I had no part in this. You took that grid stop and brought it down to a 3x3 millimeter. So there's UHMWPE, which is a stronger material than the HDPE, that is almost twice as frequent as it was on the old version.
yeah. So we're definitely super excited. We also are testing out a few new colors. There's a soft purple, which I've added to a few of our product lines that we've come out with recently, but it seems to be really popular. It's similar to a lilac kind of, but for the pack material, I wanted it to be a little bit deeper so that it was more usable depending
Sure.
on who you are.
Matt Evans said the soft purple is, quote, chef's kiss.
I really do like it. It looks awesome. Also olive. So I kind of just revamped this color. So a really popular color that people like and I love is sage. And then of course you have the classic dark olive, which is what we had before. And you have olive drab. There's a lot of these different green hints, and a lot of people like them. So I wanted to try to blend all of those together. So, take some of the lighter matte looking pastel almost colors of sage, but keep some of the richness of dark olive. And I think it turned out like really great.
It's really
And
nice.
depending on what other colors you pair it with, you can it kind of looks a little bit different, right? So if you put it with a bunch of pastel colors, it kind of blends in and you're like, "Oh, that's sage." But if you put it with some bright oranges and other stuff like that and black, then it looks more like a dark olive. So I think it's a dynamic color and it's really cool. Another switch we made is just going from burnt orange to blaze orange.
It's blaze. It's real bright.
And I think that's important because blaze orange is a super popular color in the industry, and people always ask for that. But it also is a functional color, right? So as a liner or as a first aid kit or any spot where you want to signal, I don't know, you use it like a flare. Probably don't throw your backpack up in the air if you're in trouble, but you get my point. We wanted to switch from burnt to blaze so that you had something that was really a pop of color and a little more exciting if you want that.
I lined my ski pack with the blaze orange, and it's really bright. Like it truly illuminates the bag, especially because I did like printed DCF on the outside, so the light comes through really nicely. But it's really easy to find stuff in there. I mean, I was skiing at like 9 p.m. and I could like easily find my granola bar on the bottom, whatever that quantifies or constitutes. Like it was really nice for that.
Yeah, two more things I'll say. So we are really excited about this, but one of the other things we want to do is really take a look at cost and pricing. And by being able to develop the material ourselves, it allows us to pass, especially on the wholesale side, pass those choices that we made and those savings onto you. So it's a much more approachable material that functions better than it did before. And I'm really proud of that because I think that's the most important part. It's like I understand that there are people out there that are willing to spend $175 a yard, no matter what it is, and I'm one of those people. But we're few and far between, and for good reason, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to just hang your hat on the fact that you can come up with the craziest, wildest material. It's
Yeah.
about it being approachable for you guys. So enjoy it. Let us know. Send us any pictures of any projects that you make. I'll be excited to see them, and I look forward to it being the new do it all material. And we hope that it can be that.
I'm obviously extremely biased, but I've made shoulder straps out of this material and a pack, a ZPP. I've lined it in a couple fanny packs already when we were doing some testing. It really is my go-to material now for whether it's like a heavy duty liner, a ZPP, something like that. It like the colors, the option. I don't need to talk anymore, but I'm super super happy with it, and I'm really excited to have it have it around now.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of a rapid fire here. I could talk about this for days, but two of we'll call them less spicy. They're still really exciting, but maybe not as cool as like one of the biggest releases of the year. One of them is a Lycra PowerMesh. Most of you are familiar with this for years and years before we came out with Venom Ultra, whatever. All
Venom
those
stretch
products
mesh.
came to market. The UHMWB, you
Before we released the ultralight Venom stretch mesh.
yes, and the other ones out on the market too. I won't remove those. Before that was a popular thing. Lycra mesh was the thing, right? The Gossamer Gear G4. It's the material that you're familiar with that for like the big stretchy back pocket of backpacks. Shoulder companies still use it now for water bottle shoulder strap pockets because it's very
Waist
stretchy.
pocket, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. It's something that we've been meaning to add for a long time, and it has a lot of uses, including apparel. In a similar vein, we've had requests for bringing back a static mesh that doesn't have any like elastic content. So we used to have 3.4 ounce pocket mesh, which is just an open hole polyester mesh. And so we brought that back. We made it a little more burly. It weighs 4 ounces per square yard instead of 3.4, so the stretch is a little bit less. But yeah, so we just brought that back online, and we were also able to lower the price on that, which is really cool.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record player here, but I used both of those materials on a ski pack. it worked out really well, but partially because we were releasing them, so it gave me a chance to work with them and get some content. Really impressed with both. The Lycra PowerMesh, if you don't know, this is like a really stretchy material. If you're used to the ultralight Venom stretch mesh, which is absolutely one of my favorite, this has, I'm going to make up a bit of a number here, 4 times more stretch or something. Like you pull it and it really expands. So I use it for like a phone pocket and a bottle pocket on the like the vest style straps of the pack. Really amazing. And then the pocket mesh I use for the inside, like the inside pockets that are on the back panel to put like my phone, wallet, keys. I made like a little thing for my knife and flashlight to clip onto. Really impressed with both of those, especially the 4.0 mesh. I was worried it was going to feel heavier. I've worked with both now within the last week, and there's almost no difference in the weight at all. I mean, at
Yeah.
0.6, it doesn't really add anything other than durability, but of stability, stuff like that.
The product that we'll end on is another one that I have been working on now for over 2 years. We've almost brought it to production multiple times, and we had problems, and I'll explain those very quickly. But it's the zero 0.9 ounce membrane 15 ECO Ripstop nylon. So you probably already know that we have membrane 15 in our outdoor ink sector, and that is a polyester, both ripstop and plain weave that you can print on, which is cool because I mean polyester is kind of what you need to have printed on quilts, but it's not the best material that you could have. So another thing is that since I've worked here, we've never had a 15 denier nylon, which is like the most popular nylon for down sleeping bags, vests, jackets, most of the ultralight stuff that you see in big box stores, and frankly, a lot of the cottage stuff is a 15D nylon, and we just haven't had it. And we wanted to fix that. So we have a new material, and it's really awesome. It's at 100% recycled. It also uses the C0 PFC free DWR. Again, anytime we can, we're going to do that. It comes in a lot of new colors that have never existed before. Some of those I worked with Avery to and with you guys to crowdsource out what colors you would want to see. So this, some of you might remember this. This was like a year and a half ago because it's how long it's taken. Because this yarn didn't exist, at least it wasn't available for us to start with. So we had to really figure out how to make it work. And then we finally thought that we had developed slash found a yarn that would work, and it didn't work. And we got ready to do the finishing touches, and then we realized, oh, this isn't going to work. It doesn't have all the properties that we want. So we just restarted. I mean, all that time that we spent, we learned, but we restarted, and now we have a product that's 5 out of 5 IDFL downproof rated, which means you're not going to lose any down. It means it's going to block wind really well. And yeah, I'm really proud of it, and I'm excited to see. I'm also, of course, hoping that it becomes a staple in the arena of cottage quilts, because I think it's a perfect balance between something that's super duper ultralight and something that's a bit heavier. You can almost think of it as a 1.0 Hyper D replacement, where it's kind of in the same weight category, but it's better for the environment. It's a little bit more breathable, and it has better testing numbers overall.
That number specifically too is 100% recycled nylon as the base composition. So we're really at like putting that forward to try and get that base fiber to be starting out from a sustainable place instead of just like throwing some recycle bit on there later on.
Yeah, and we started all of this with the 1.6 Hyper D Eco. It just gets harder and harder as you get a smaller and smaller denier of yarn. But yeah, we're really proud of it. Everyone that's used it so far has really liked it, and we hope you do as well. And yeah,
Well,
show us those new colors. I want to see the.
I was going to say the colors of this are really nice. I really like our color palette these days. I was getting some of these chunks together to send to Avery for photos a couple of months ago, and they're just a nice shade. They go together well. They stand out well on their own. Again, that like the yellow mustard. I can't remember what we called it now, but like the yellow
Marigold.
Thank you. The marigold is what I use in the cycling vest. Just a really nice shade, like earthy but pops. Good job on the colors, Carter. Like what you did.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that's a basic wrap up. Of course, these are on sale right now. So go check out those product pages. You can find that either. There's like 5 places you can find it, which is very helpful. Thank you, Jameson. There's a banner on the site. You could have gotten an email. You might see it in a post. You can go under the new products tab on the website. You can see all these. You can check out the specs. You can check out the colors. You can see some in-use photos. And you can save some money if you want to buy those. So
Definitely.
that's all I've got.
Cool. That's the episode today. It's really pretty short. We just wanted to talk about a little bit and give you all something to listen to in case our releases are something that you look forward to. seriously, please, if you have any questions about what I made, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to tell you anything. Send us an email, whatever. We'll get those photos out there. And yeah, I want to see what you guys make with these new materials.
Oh, and one final thing, we actually have a fifth product. One of our most popular sellers is our ZPP kit, and that the most popular fabric in the ZPP kit was the 210D HDPE. Well, obviously we've replaced that product, so we added the option for you to get it in the new Venom ECO. So check that out. Right now we only have 4 colors available. I'm hoping to expand that, but for now we just use the most similar colors that were already there from the previous one. So if you're not ready to buy, a full yard and you just want to see what this looks like, check out the ZPP kit, and yeah,
Yep.
hope you enjoy it. Send us some pics.
Definitely. Cool. Well, you'll hear from us again in 2 weeks. Back to normal programs. We got some really fun episodes coming up. Really excited about what this year holds for the podcast. But until then, thanks everybody. Thank you for listening. Please let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. Do all the things. Talk to you soon.
Goodbye.